Hello, welcome back to the channel of nonsense. Now that lockdown is slightly lifted in the UK, I can start travelling to exotic places once more. So yeah, I'm in Milton Keynes, which if you're not from England is an industrial estate where I used to work 10 years ago here at Volkswagen Group UK headquarters. I'm here anyway to drive the new Skoda Enyaq IEV, which is Skoda's all-electric SUV thing. So I'm going to take you along for a drive, do a walk around, just do my usual nonsense and try not to crash because it's left-hand drive. Let's hit the road. Look, the sunshine. How lovely. Right, I just want to give you a quick walk around of what the Enyaq looks like. It's unmistakably a Skoda, isn't it? I'm sure in the press pack somewhere it uses the word crystalline because Skoda is very proud of the fact that the Czech Republic, or whatever it's called now, Czechia, has a history of making crystal in Bohemia. So there's all these crystalline lines, and it actually says Skoda crystal lighting on the side, kind of matrix LED jobbies, I think. It's got a closed-in grille. Later in the year, you're going to be able to get an option called the Crystal Face Grille, which is lit up with, I think, 150 little LED things to form a light-up strip across the middle there, which will look quite cool, and apparently the VRS is going to get that as standard. This has got 20-inch optional wheels on it. 19s are standard on this entry-level one, although obviously you can upgrade them to 20s. Yeah, kind of looks like a Skoda. Let's go around the back where it looks a wee bit different, as Mike Fernie might say. I don't know. Am I being anti-Scottish? While I'm showing the front of the car, actually, just pointing out there's no storage space under the bonnet. It's just full of stuff. There's the 12-volt battery there and whirring things. I'm not actually sure what all this is because this is a rear drive one. The motor's at the back, so I presume that's all aircon stuff and other electrical gumph. But there we go. So you don't get a frunk on this, you just get a massive boot. Actually, while we're on here, I'll just show you this. This is very boring. This is the washer filler cap. Pops up into a little shiwi. It's like a little funnel, so you don't drip washer fluid all in your car. That's so Skoda. Round the back, the Skoda Enyaq kind of avoids doing that heavy bummed thing that the Volkswagen ID4 and ID3 have done. Obviously, when you've got loads of batteries in the floor of the car, it kind of ends up looking like it's dragging its bum along. But anyway, it doesn't do that. I think it looks quite sharp. Skoda fans, you'll know that in here, there will be an ice scraper. But there isn't, because there's an electric charging port instead. However, you do still get an ice scraper as part of Skoda's Simply Clever thing that it did with Sean Connery. Look, there it is. It's tucked away there. So you still get that. You get a 585 litre boot, which is pretty whopping, to be fair. Big space under there. And yeah, lots of clever features, things to fold the seats down. Somewhere in here, I haven't found it, there's a thing to clean your electric charging cables so you don't get dirty hands when you're charging it, which is just pure Skoda, isn't it? Thinking of the boring stuff. Right, let's do a quick back seats, front seats thing, and then we'll get back on the road. Can a big man fit in the back? The ultimate test. Yes. Yeah, really easily actually. Just shrug the rear headrest up. Loads of headroom, loads of knee room actually. Motorbike boots fit under the seat in front, and you've got pockets for mobile phones and things on the back of there, top tether. Yeah, it's really quite airy actually. Might hit my head on that getting in and out because that does feel a little bit low, but otherwise there's plenty of room here. You've got ISOFIX, I've got room for my motorbike helmet because I rode up here on a BMW R1250 RT. Go and check out Tim Rides Motorbikes on YouTube to watch me do motorbike stuff. It's less boring than me doing this. But yeah, it's quite nice in here. That's pretty much what I have to say about the back of this, in fact. It's a very roomy, practical, family-sized car. Did you want a shaky cam review of the interior? Yeah, you probably did, didn't you? Right, this is a little digital driver's display thing that I've been talking about. It kind of shows you the basics, but you don't really need anything else. It shows you your adaptive cruise situation on the left there, so the lines on the road and trucks and cars and things around you like that. The steering wheel is a steering wheel, frankly. It's really quite nice. It's not too thin, not too thick. You've got the paddles, which adjust the recuperation levels, rather. Can't speak, can't show you either because I'm not driving. So yeah, there are 3 levels of engine braking effectively with that. It's got heated steering wheel. All feels very nice. It's got these knurled metal bits there. They're probably plastic, but they feel like metal. This is your gear selector. Look at that, isn't it? Little cute little thing. Doesn't need to be any bigger, of course, because it's just a little switch. You put your foot on the brake, that's drive, reverse. You've got reversing camera on this one. Obviously this has got a few options on it. I think that probably is one of them. To put it in park, just put the handbrake on and the engine start-stop is under there like on other keyless Skodas. The infotainment screen is pretty darn impressive, to be fair. I've got my phone wirelessly CarPlayed to it. Physical volume, have you got one? No. No, you don't. Is that the Deftones? How fantastic. But anyway, yeah, there's no physical volume other than on the steering wheel. Heated seats and everything's controlled through there. Let's have a little poke around. You can see I'm at 90% charge. Sat nav and charging locations all done through there. This is all new to me, to be fair. This, like I said, isn't like anything else in Volkswagen Group cars at the moment. I'll get you a better angle. But it's all dead straightforward. Sat nav up there. You can change the mood lighting. That is familiar from the Golf and the Octavia. Background lighting, winter, summer, ocean. Oh, race. I like race lighting. That's my favourite. I presume it's all black and white squares. But yeah, that's probably enough prattling on about that. You've got 2 USB-Cs down there. You're not going to be able to see them. Big cubby hole here, and actually under here as well. This is like a floating bridge centre console, because electric cars can do that because there's no transmission tunnel. And there's a little grippy rubber doodle there as well. Yeah, it's just to stop things sliding around. I thought it might be a little hatch. One thing I get very excited about is when I see these felt-lined door bins, because it stops stuff rattling around when you chuck it in there. This is the loft interior theme. There are a couple. There's Lodge and there's brown leather, and there's well, the brown leather has been treated with olive leaf pulp. So apparently olive leaves are a big waste material, and Skoda's found a way to use them to clean their leather. So it's eco-friendly, and there's vegan ones and all that kind of jazz as well. But it's really quite lovely and airy, despite not having a sunroof in this one. But yeah, you've got physical buttons for driving modes, parking, getting the climate controls up. I don't know why I'm pressing them so aggressively. Windscreen heating and rear window heating. All that kind of stuff. Right, so that's probably enough waffling about the interior. Let's go do more driving. Yes, let's get going. It's going to be a bit of a quick one, this. I've only got the car for a couple of hours. It's a Czech plated car that's come over from the Skoda factory in Mlada Boleslav in Czechia, or whatever I meant to call it now. So anyway, yes, this is Skoda's electric SUV, and it's got a 60 kilowatt hour battery. There's an 82 kilowatt hour version, if you so wish. This one should do 250 odd miles to a charge, and the bigger one will do more, like something like 300, I think. And yeah, it shares a fair bit underneath with the Volkswagen ID.4, which I've not driven yet. But what I can say immediately, it's got a very nice indicator click. But no, I'm in a rather lovely cabin, considering this is basically a base spec one. It's an IV60, so they call it the 60 kilowatt hour battery, even though it's 58. And this is in loft specification. They've got loft, lodge, eco suite. They've got lots of funny names for their trim levels, but actually, do you know what? I've got lots of lovely grey fabric in here. It's all very nice. There's lots of eco-friendly interior options for this car. Sorry, I'm just being bamboozled by the fact that road is closed and I don't know where I'm going because I've been in Milton Keynes for ages. Let's go all the way around the roundabout. So yeah, this one is rear drive. It's got 180-ish horsepower and it's very comfortable. It's my initial impressions. It's a Skoda. Skodas are meant to do practical, sensible things, but over the years, recently, they've been getting dangerously stylish, and I would usually have a Skoda over its Volkswagen equivalent, just because I think they look a bit more interesting, a bit more stylish, but that's just me. So yeah, this one is rear drive. I'm not expecting any tail-out shenanigans because it's a practical family SUV. It's got a 99 mile an hour top speed. This will cost you £31,000, but because this is a press car that the Czechs have done, it's got loads of technology packs on it, so this one's actually £40,000. But I'm immediately impressed by it. All Enyaqs get a 13-inch touchscreen, which isn't in any other Volkswagen Group car that I can work out. I've got my Apple CarPlay set up wirelessly. It's got loads of information. It's all sharp and logically laid out. Big fan of that already. Otherwise, it's just very airy in here. This windscreen's got a really steep angle on it, which feels like a boring thing to talk about, but that means you get more light in here. I'm sorry, I haven't had breakfast. So yes, as I was saying, the Enyaq's available in two forms initially, the 60 and the 80, which has an 82 kilowatt hour battery, and that's more powerful as well. However, there's also going to be an 80X, which is a dual motor 80 kilowatt hour version. There's also going to be a coupe body style, so sleeker at the back, and there's going to be a VRS version next year, which is obviously Skoda's sporty line of cars. So I imagine that'll be a dual motor one as well. And yeah, so far I'm quite impressed by it. It's really easy to drive, it's super comfortable, and it's very quiet. I'm doing 70 miles an hour on a motorway and life is good. Everything feels calm. It's got a very good ambience, this car. I don't often talk about the ambience in a car because it's a fairly wanky thing to say, but this car's got a very pleasant one. It's very, to me, it's very gentle, very relaxed. I like it. Everything about it is set up to put you in a good frame of mind. It's got a much better infotainment system that you can get on a Golf as well, not being infuriated. Yeah, we've got some driving modes. Imagine sport mode is not going to do an awful lot because this car doesn't have adaptive dampers. You can get it with adaptive dampers, so if you want to be able to change the firmness of your suspension, then go for that. So is the Enyaq very fast? Well, that's 30 miles an hour. That's 60 miles an hour. It's got that electric car punch. Now bear in mind this is the entry level one and it's not the most powerful. It's definitely fast enough. I think the main reason you would go for the more powerful one is to get slightly longer range. But yeah, it's not a sports car, is it? But it's a heavy electric SUV, but it does a good job of hiding its weight. Let's do some corners. Again, I'm just in normal mode because who's going to bother switching to sport mode, really? Goes around corners, it grips, it goes. I mean, it's not going to set your hair on fire in terms of driving it, but it's very comfortable. It's refined. What more do you want, really, from an electric car? It'll be interesting to see how sporty they can make the VRS one. Obviously, Skoda's VRS range has always kind of been a kind of sensible amount of sportiness, not a crazy thing. But yeah, we shall see. The mirrors actually are worth talking about in this because they're bloody huge. Maybe it's just because I'm in a left-hand drive one, I'm not used to that. But they're so big, you get a really good view behind you, and visibility out the back is perfectly good as well. Actually, the window satisfyingly fits the shape of the mirror, and the mirror is a frameless jobby that looks very nice and expensive. I'm on a much bumpier B road now, and I have to say, usually electric cars, when you're going over lots of bumps, usually feel a bit lardy and slow to respond. This has pretty good body control, to use the nerdy technical term. It just doesn't lump and bump and jolt you around as much as you would think. Quite often you get this sense of this weight slowly moving around at a different speed to the rest of the car, but not in this. Not in this. So well done, Skoda's chassis boffins, I guess. Good work. Right, that's enough waffle from me. Back to you, Tim, for an outro. So as a conclusion, is the Skoda Enyaq a good family electric SUV thing? Yeah, it is. It's got a bigger boot than the Volkswagen ID4. It's 10 grand cheaper if you want it to be, but then you still have to put quite a few options on it. As I said, this is 40 grand and it's not even got the biggest battery or dual motors or anything like that. So you can take one of these to about 50 grand, which is obviously quite punchy, but it's beautifully pleasant to drive. It's very calming, it's very soothing, and it doesn't jolt you about in that slightly slovenly way like some other EVs do. It's a very well accomplished thing. It's not particularly exciting, but chances are you don't buy a Skoda for excitement. You buy it for practicality and this new kind of premium fit and finish that they've been doing for the past 5-10 years. It's not new at all, really, is it? It's just a very pleasant thing. I can heartily recommend it if you're in the market for an EV with about 250 miles of range. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching. I've got the sun in my eyes, so I'm going to go. But in the meantime, please like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this nonsense. And I'll see you very soon for more car stuff with me, but not in motorbike boots, which are actually quite sweaty because it's warm. You didn't need to know that. Sorry, oversharing. I'm pretty terrible for it. Bye-bye.